Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is November 10th, 2023, and it's reported that Barcelona are currently tracking Leroy Sane's situation at Bayern Munich. Also, Barcelona have some serious competition for the signing of Gabriel Moscardo, and the club could end up missing out on the signing of the Brazilian pivot. And finally, it's being rumored that Barcelona have completely discarded the arrival of Vitor Roque in the January transfer market. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's completely free, it only takes a second, and in doing this, you'll be helping this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kickback, and if you are looking to place any sports bets, not just on Barcelona matches, but on all sporting events around the world, make sure you hit the bet at us. Both links are down below in the description. Now, I'll begin with the news that the Committee of Referees in Spain have informed both the Royal Spanish Football Federation and La Liga that they are now ready to start producing the recordings of the VAR room. Now, as you already know, the VAR has been around for a few years now in La Liga, and whenever there is a controversial call or a call that a referee misses, there's usually communication between the VAR room and the referee on the field in order to inform the referee of his mistake or if he missed something. And well, now the CTA are ready to start releasing the recordings of the VAR room conversations between them and between the referee on the field, because the CTA consider this as an important measure to combat controversies in La Liga, because if the fans could listen to the reasoning and behind a decision of a referee, they might better understand why a referee ruled a certain way. Now, the CTA also believe that this is another form also to combat the dirty and disgusting media campaign that's being carried out right now by Real Madrid, where through Real Madrid TV, they've been producing documentary after documentary, attacking referees and trying to insinuate that they're in favor of Barcelona or in other clubs, or that they're somehow against Real Madrid. Now, of course, this will need to be voted on, so we're still going to have to see and wait whether this measure will be approved. But I really think this will be an important step towards transparency in La Liga, because if we could hear the communication between referees, then we can better know the reasoning behind a certain decision, which again could end up quelling controversies. Now, these recordings would not be released live on television. It will be released after the matches are over, kind of like what they do in the Premier League. So the question, of course, remains, where will these recordings be released? For example, in the Premier League, they are released to a certain TV show that goes over the recordings and reviews the matches, the calls, and the recordings. So we're going to have to see whether not only if this measure gets approved, but where will the CTA end up releasing these recordings, whether it will be a TV show, their own TV show. Of course, I will be here to report on that once a decision is made. Now on to the news that Barcelona have now a second option for a friendly match at the end of this year. Now, as reported previously, Barcelona were in talks with the Mexican club Club America in order to have a friendly match in December, right before that Christmas break, where Barcelona would play the Mexican side in Dallas, Texas, USA. That way, Barcelona could make some extra income before the winter break. However, it's being reported now that the Middle East are offering Barcelona a lot of money, so Barcelona can have their friendly match somewhere in the Middle East instead in December, rather than coming to the USA. Now, it's reported that Barcelona are contemplating that option, and a decision will be made in the upcoming weeks. And it's reported that Barcelona will make this decision strictly based on finances. So whichever option offers Barcelona more money, that's the option that Barcelona will decide on. Now, speaking of matches, as you might already know, Barcelona are set to face Alaves during this weekend on Sunday. And it's reported that Frenkie de Jong will miss that match as well, because Barcelona have yet to rule him as fit and ready to play. Now, it's reported that Barcelona want to keep Frenkie de Jong on the injured list until after the FIFA international break, because right after the Alaves match, there's a FIFA international break. So it's reported that Frenkie de Jong could be back by the match against Rayo Vallecano, which is set to be played on November 25th. Now, it's reported that Barcelona have made this decision because they want to be extra cautious with Frenkie de Jong. They only want him back if he's 100% fit and ready to play. And also Barcelona don't want to risk Frenkie de Jong being ruled healthy for this weekend, and then as a result being called up to play with the Netherlands, where he could get re-injured during the FIFA international break. So Barcelona they rather be safe and reserve Frenkie de Jong and not play him during this weekend, and instead wait for him until after the FIFA international break. Now, speaking of that FIFA international break, as reported in a previous video, Spain's coach Luis de la Fuente was set to produce the list of players he has called up for this international break by today. And while that's exactly what happened, and Luis de la Fuente has excluded 2 Barcelona players, which are Pedri and Alejandro Balde. Now, in regards to Pedri, it's reported that Luis de la Fuente called the player and let him know that he was not going to be calling him up to the national team, not because of Pedri's performance, but because Luis de la Fuente considers Pedri as a fundamental piece of his squad, an important piece for this future project. And as a result, Luis de la Fuente does not want to risk Pedri getting injured, since Pedri just came back from injury where he was injured for 2 months. So Luis de la Fuente informed Pedri that he's not going to be calling him because he wants to preserve his health and wants to protect the player. Now, Alejandro Balde was also excluded from this list, and it's being reported that this might be Luis de la Fuente kind of calling Alejandro Balde's attention, because after all, Alejandro Balde's form has dipped in the recent matches, which I'm not sure whether it's the player himself or maybe it's Xavi's tactics. But one thing is for sure, we have seen Alejandro Balde's form dip, and that might be the reason why Luis de la Fuente decided not to include Alejandro Balde in this call-up for this FIFA international break. Now, one player who has been called up to the Spain national squad is Íñigo Martínez, who's been having a spectacular form for Barcelona. And along Íñigo Martínez, there are 3 more players from Barcelona who have been called up, which are Lamine Yamal, Gabi, and also Ferran Torres. Now, on to the news that it's reported that Barcelona are currently tracking Leroy Sane's situation at Bayern Munich. Now, it's no secret that Leroy Sane is one of Xavi's favorite wingers to have on his team, as it was evidenced by an interview that Xavi gave before he became Barcelona's coach, where he said that the profile of Leroy Sane and Neymar is the kind of profile that he likes for wingers. You know, fast wingers who can dribble past players, who can win in 1 versus 1, but can still score goals. And it's reported that Barcelona are currently tracking Leroy Sane's contract renewal at Bayern Munich. Now, Leroy Sane's contract will expire in the summer of 2025, and even though his entourage is in contact with Bayern Munich in order to extend his contract, it's reported that the player is yet to extend his contract with the German team. And as I reported before, Leroy Sane's entourage actually offered the player to Barcelona last summer. However, Barcelona were unable to make the move for the German winger, given the financial situation at the club. Now, it's reported that Barcelona are tracking Leroy Sane's situation to see whether he renews his contract or not, because if he doesn't, then this upcoming summer in 2024 could be key for the future of Leroy Sane, because after that, he would only have 1 year left on his contract. And of course, that makes negotiation more favorable for the clubs who would like to sign the player in the future. Now, speaking of signing players, as I've reported many times before, Deco's #1 option to reinforce the pivot position is the 18-year-old Gabriel Moscardo. Now, it's reported that Deco has been in contact with Gabriel Moscardo's entourage in order to express the club's interest in signing him this upcoming summer. However, despite Barcelona's heavy interest in Gabriel Moscardo, Deco has been unable to guarantee to the player that Barcelona will make a move for him, because after all, his current club Corinthians won 30 million euros, and it's not for sure that Barcelona will be able to pay that money this upcoming summer. Now, Barcelona have some serious competition from 2 Premier League clubs, which are Liverpool and Chelsea. And it's reported that Chelsea have made some moves for the player these past few hours, where they had initially offered 21 million for Corinthians, but it's reported now that Chelsea has upped their offer to 30 million euros, which again, it's exactly what Corinthians are asking for the young Gabriel Moscardo. Now, speaking of Brazilian players, it's being reported right now that Barcelona have completely discarded the arrival of Vitor Roque due to their inability to find space on their wage bill for this upcoming winter transfer market. Now, as you already know, Barcelona have signed Vitor Roque, and he is set to arrive in Barcelona next summer 2024. However, the club have been working to bring him this winter transfer market, with many reports now saying that Barcelona have discarded this option, given that Barcelona are over their wage limit after La Liga reduced Barcelona's salary limit from 400 million euros to 270 million euros. Well, I'm here to tell you that no decision has been officially made, and despite these reports in the media, Barcelona has not ruled out the signing of Vitor Roque. Barcelona are still working hard with the goal to bring Vitor Roque home. And yes, it will be very complicated to bring the Brazilian player this upcoming winter transfer market. And as of today, Barcelona would not be able to sign the player. However, they have not discarded his arrival, and they are still working hard to try to find space on the wage bill so they can register the contract of the 18-year-old this upcoming winter transfer market. Now, speaking of signing players in 2024, it's reported that Barcelona will make a final decision on whether to sign Joao Felix on a permanent basis next year in 2024. And it's reported that Barcelona are still to make a decision on whether to sign Joao Felix on a permanent basis, mostly due to their financial situation and also because we have seen Joao Felix's form dip in the most recent matches. And it's reported that Joao Felix is dying to know whether he's going to be staying at Barcelona on a permanent basis or not. But again, Barcelona will not give the final answer until next year, because they need to do a lot of work in regards to their finances if they're going to sign someone like Joao Felix, which of course Atletico de Madrid are going to want a lot of money for him. Now we'll end today's video with the news that Girona's sporting director has left the door open for Oriol Romeu to go back to their club. Now Girona's sporting director said, "Personally, I want that 100%. Romeu gave us magical things. A lot of players told me that he taught them how to compete. It's not easy because he has a contract with Barcelona, but I don't see it as unlikely." Now, of course, as I've said many times before, I believe that Oriol Romeu is a great signing for Barcelona, especially because they signed him for 3.5 million euros. But of course, he's always an easy target for fans to attack, because before Barcelona signed him, not many people knew who Oriol Romeu is. But if you go back and watch Girona's matches from last season, you could clearly see that Oriol Romeu was one of the best pivots in the entire Spanish league. Now, Girona are currently the best team in La Liga, and they are sitting at the top of the table. So if Girona would still like to have Oriol Romeu back and have him as their starting pivot, that tells you something, that Oriol Romeu is a good pivot. But unfortunately, we have seen a dip in his form lately. But I attribute it mostly to Xavi's tactics, not because of the player's lack of talent, because as we've seen before, he is a solid defensive midfielder. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. Finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, and as always, Visca Barça.